Conor McGregor.
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 Conor McGregor. He was charged in a Brooklyn court today for a violent attack on a busload of other fighters. Take a look. Injuring two of them.
Was arrested yesterday in South Florida for stealing the cell phone of a person who was trying to take a photo of him.
The alleged assault, all because the man declined McGregor's offer to take a shot of whiskey.
That appears to show the UFC star hanging out at a club with the same woman he's accused of raping.
He's accused of sexually assaulting a woman in a bathroom inside the Casella Center back on June 9th.
Has lost his appeal against a High Court jury's finding that he sexually assaulted a woman, Nikita, in 2018.
Earlier this month, you were at a party with Conor McGregor, of course, the UFC superstar, and he punched you in the face.
Police showed up to McGregor's rented Venetian Island home last month after he was accused of taking and smashing a fan's cell phone.
McGregor pleaded guilty today to 2 charges: dangerous and careless driving in Dublin over 2 years ago.
Was supposed to pretend to slug the Miami Heat mascot in a pre-planned skit during the NBA Finals, but he ended up sending him to the ER.
Sexually assaulted a woman at a party in Dublin in 2018, the jury decided on Friday. He has been ordered to pay her over $250,000 in damages.
But what happened today was criminal, disgusting, despicable, makes me sick, and we as an organization need to make sure that this never happens again.
34 million people watched the UFC's historic White House card, and now their biggest star and their most controversial figure is back to shatter that record. My name is Angelo, this is We Want Picks, and I'm going to break down the entire UFC 329 fight card, giving you my picks, predictions, and bets. But before we talk about the exciting stuff, let's talk about some not so exciting stuff. This is TJ Hepburn's house. I'm not expecting you to know who TJ Hepburn is, but he is a staple of the Connecticut wrestling community, a community that I have spent the last 20 plus years in. TJ Hepburn's a Division II national champion wrestler. TJ Hepburn was teammates with Kamaru Usman at Nebraska, but most importantly, TJ Hepburn is a father, a husband, and he just lost everything. His entire house burned to the ground, losing every possession he has ever had and the family dog. This is an unimaginable catastrophe for a very good guy who has given to the community for years on end. So if you have an extra couple of bucks and you're deciding between premium membership and helping out a community member, do as I have, help out a community member. Here is his Venmo. It's at TEE-HEP, and I am sure every single contribution will go a very long way. And if you're new here and you're wondering what all this doom and gloom is about, I promise you, it is not always sad stories. We come in here, we talk about fights, we bet on fights, we watch fights, and we have a good time. Here's a look at the last event. We haven't had an event in a couple of weeks, but that's not going to stop this train. UFC Baku was wildly rewarding for all of us. Over 15 units of net profit in bets from that one card specifically. And one of those bets was the safety parlay. If you didn't know, we have a website, wewantpicks.com. And on that website, we have picks, we have bets, we have tools, we have artificial intelligence, we have multiple cappers. We have everything you could ever want or need heading into a fight week. It's $10 for full access to everything on that site. And one of the things, just one, of the things on that site is the safety parlay. It is a single bet that I put the stamp of safety approval on, and it is cruising. It has always been the beacon of stability, but now with 8 in a row, we are approaching some all-time GOAT status. Almost 7 units of net profit over the last 8 events from one single bet with a 74% ROI. If you want to check out the safety parlay, just go to wewantpicks.com. It's $10 for an entire month's worth of access. And for a couple of days, we will give you an entire lifetime worth of access for $250 in celebration of America's 250th birthday. This ends Saturday on fight night, July 11th. That's it. We're done. This promo's gone. It's back to 300. Everything stays where it was. It's a limited promo to celebrate America. And there's no better way to celebrate America than to just really throw on a sale, sell some mattresses, and show the world why capitalism is probably the best system. Here's a look at what you will get. If you sign up right now, let's say you just do the $10, you don't do the lifetime. If you do the $10 monthly at wewantpicks.com, you'll have full access to these 4 fight cards instantly. This card, of course, UFC 329. Then we have the UFC Oklahoma City fight card that I will be at live and in person with Jacob and a couple other people. Then we go to Abu Dhabi, and then we go to Serbia every pick, every bet, every tool, every capper, the AI, everything that we offer in one package for $10, unless you want to get the full lifetime for $250. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Let's go ahead and jump into this fight card. I broke this down last week, but we've got a couple of adjustments. First of all, changed my opinion on one of the fights. Second of all, we have a brand new fight, and it's the opener of this fight card. We have Cody Durden taking on Alessandro Costa. Cody was already on this card. He was preparing for a dangerous striker in Ode Osborne, and now Costa is stepping up on short notice after competing just a month ago, which was also a short notice step up. Cody Durden is a pressure wrestler. He averages about 4 takedowns per fight. He wants to come forward. He'll throw looping power shots, and then he'll look for those takedowns. He will chain wrestle. He'll dive at legs until he gets you to the ground. And while his wrestling can be nonstop, his pressure is actually pretty unrelenting as well. He's got no control on the ground. People just stand right up on him, and he has no chin whatsoever. That thing vanished into the night a few years ago. He is coming off, though, that career-saving win over Joffo Filo. He's taking on Alessandro Costa, a solid striker, pretty good takedown defense. Striking style, it's high, it's tight, he's got a good guard, and he can be patient. He will wait, he will find his shots. When he decides to throw, he throws with 100% intent, and he does a really nice job of small combinations. He'll leap in with a left to the body, he'll throw a right to the head. He has very real power, insane kicks, and he just came off with a short notice knockout win over the very knockoutable Matt Schnell. This is not a fight we need to overcomplicate, right? Sometimes it's 1 + 1 = 2. But I am going to overcomplicate this a little bit. I'm going to pick Alessandro Costa. I am a bit worried about it, though, because he is insanely dangerous, and Cody is insanely chinny, but Cody's also a dog. The only time Cody gets broken in a fight is when his face and his chin just give up on him. He's not quitting. So if for some reason his chin does not give up on him, and he pressures forward, and he pushes that pace, and he avoids a big shot, he can definitely have success here, especially over a fading Alessandro Costa, who's stepping up on short notice for the second time in 6 weeks. And if you look at Cody's 4-fight losing skid right before his win a couple of weeks ago, he was having success in every single one of those fights. He had early takedowns against Josh Van, early takedowns against Jose Ochoa, striking success against Nasa Mesno, and a solid back and forth against Nam Termenbenderol. Costa is notably one of the more dangerous guys in this division. Certainly the more dangerous one in that stretch. But he fades. And Cody doesn't. He tends to gain steam. So to me, this is either Costa early, which is the most likely outcome, or somehow Cody is able to survive, grind his way forward, and make something happen. Costa's going to be the pick. The safest bet, probably, win inside the distance decision, no action on Costa, because Cody's not very dangerous. He'll find a random choke here and there, but for the most part, he's not very dangerous. Costa is going to be the pick, but I'm probably not going to be betting on him at 3-1. I'm telling you, the cardio worries me a little bit. 2 short notice step-ups, that's not one. As dumb as it sounds, stepping up on short notice twice is very different than just one time. It's been a wild ride for Costa. He should get the win here. These odds scare me a little bit. Then we have a fun back and forth in the middleweight division. We have Ryan Gandra taking on Zach Reese. Ryan Gandra, busy pressure forward striker. He only moves in one direction. He lets his hands go. He is very hittable, but for every shot he eats, he is throwing 2 your way. If he can get you against the cage, he's not going to look for a takedown. Instead, he's going to land punches at your face from his hip. He does want to strike. He's not completely clueless in the grappling department, though. He can defend takedowns pretty well. And if he gets his own takedown, he does a really good job controlling and striking. He is coming off that finish win over a finishable Jose Medina. He's taking on Zach Reese. This is a massive guy for this weight class at 6'4". He uses all that size, all that strength in his fights. He is pretty well-rounded, mostly a jiu-jitsu nerd, though, but he will throw heavy. He can wrestle. It's a bit inconsistent when he uses it on the ground. He's got really good BJJ from top and bottom. He uses that length really well. He'll wrap you up. He can be a bit too comfortable off his back and then play that jiu-jitsu nerd game. He is coming off that back-and-forth loss to Michel Pereira where he was sloppy, but we did see how tough he can actually be. This is not by any means a high-level fight. This matters for nobody. It means nothing to anybody, but it will be fun. Both of these guys are going to get after it. Both of them are actually pretty tough. We just saw that in the Zach Reese fight. My first impression of Zach Reese was when I put his dumb ass in the safety parlay against Cody Brundage just to watch him get powerbombed because he was doing the jiu-jitsu nerdery. But after the Michel Pereira fight, I do have a bit more respect for him and his toughness. I hate the guy because of that powerbomb. But again, I can respect how insanely tough he has become. I don't expect him to win here, though. I do think Ryan's going to land whatever he wants, whenever he wants to. And he's going to keep coming forward. He's going to keep throwing. And while I don't think Zach is going to break, I don't think Zach's going to have much of an answer, especially if they end up on the ground and he's just on his back laying there while Ryan Gandra is going crazy. So Ryan's the pick. This is a really fun fight, and we could have an upset here just because of how tough Zach Reese is. Then we have Damian Pinas. Okay, you need to emphasize every single letter, or I promise you your phone is listening and you're going to get some really weird targeted ads. We have Damian Pinas taking on Cesar Almeida. Damian Pinas, a stocky striker. He is pretty composed. Sometimes he seems like he doesn't even care that he's in a fight. But once he connects, he's putting people to sleep. The power is insanely impressive. And he hides a big right hook behind a nice, easy jab. He can grapple as well. He does a good job grabbing submissions, finding things in scrambles, and looking for the knockouts. He's not chasing, but he is finding them. His takedown defense is just okay. It's not great, but because he has so much power and he is so dangerous, people tend to shoot from far away and not setting up those takedowns. They're just diving at legs, hoping they don't eat something on the way in. And we saw that in his last fight when he made Wes Schultz look like an absolute clown shoe. He's taking on Cesar Almeida, a big-time professional kickboxer. Every time we talk about Cesar, we talk about the fact that he beat Alex Pereira in kickboxing, and that's a wildly impressive thing to do. Now, he hasn't had that exact same amount of success in MMA, but he has done his thing. He's got clean combinations, big power, good footwork, and he is very dangerous every second that a fight remains standing. Takedown defense in the middle of the cage doesn't exist. You can take him down. Against the cage, he works really well, and he stays up. He is coming off that decision loss to Cesar Ellison, where he has been taken down 6 times. People absolutely love Pinas here, and I get it. OnlyFans exists. People all over Pinas. I get it. All right, to each their own. He's fast. He's powerful. He is 14 years younger, but he is an MMA fighter who likes to kickbox, and he is fighting a very, very good kickboxer. So if Damian comes in here thinking that he's going to make Cesar look as dumb as he made Wes Schultz look, this could get weird fast because on one hand, we have never seen Cesar knocked out in MMA. We haven't seen it. Nobody's just coming in here and beating the brakes off of him on the feet. On the other hand, though, I have seen him rocked. I've seen him knocked down a little bit by both Roman Kopylov and Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. This is a tough pick for me because I think Cesar is the better striker. I'd be surprised if people question that. You want to say Damian's fast as hell, has insane power? Of course. Certainly the age is a major factor here, but technique-wise, Cesar's the better striker. But I don't know if his chin is still there at 38 years old. I'm going to pick him, though. I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to pick who I think is the better striker in what should be an only striking matchup. Obviously, Damian has fight-ending power. He's going to be faster because he's younger, and if he lands clean, then Cesar could be flatlined for the first time in his MMA career. But I do trust the very, very high-level skilled striker who people need to out-grapple against another striker who's a little earlier in his career. Then we have a lady fight. We have Tracy Cortez taking on Cong Wang in a fight where the odds completely flipperinoed. Tracy Cortez opened as a considerable favorite, and now here she is as the underdog. Tracy has also made some pretty big life changes. She completely changed her fight camp. She moved down to Mexico City. She is fighting at elevation to A, be in better shape, and B, says she wants a cultural connection to her Mexican fighting spirit. But I'm pretty sure losing 2 of her last 3 fights contributed. Tracy is a fantastic wrestler, a fantastic grappler as well. She is listed as having a positive striking differential, but that is a misleading number because she spends the entirety of every fight on the ground. Her takedowns, however, are clean. They're solid. She gets to the ground. She's got great control. She does have really good BJJ, but she's not very dangerous. She's not snatching things up. She's keeping you there. You are going absolutely nowhere, and she's racking up the minutes. She's got good enough cardio to grind, especially now going to Mexico City. She is coming off that submission loss to Erin Blanchfield, where she did have a takedown. She's taking on Cong Wang. Cong Wang's a professional kickboxer. She jumped over to MMA, and just like I do with Cesar Almeida, I'm going to do it here. Cong Wang beat Valentina Shevchenko in kickboxing. She's fast, she's clean, she's technical, she's powerful. She does everything you would expect a decorated kickboxer to do. The striking is absolutely incredible, and she seems to be improving as well. We've seen some offensive takedowns and some takedown defense from her. It has looked solid. She hasn't fought anybody great in the wrestling department, but she did get taken down 3 times by Eduardo Mora, but she looked clean in that fight. She had a knockdown, won a pretty straightforward fight. This is a tough fight to break down for me because I think Tracy Cortez is overrated. I don't think she's nearly as good as people think she is. Her wrestling, however, is very good, But that's it. It's just wrestling. The jiu-jitsu is not dangerous enough to snatch things. Striking is not good enough to do shit. So it's just the wrestling. This fight is in Las Vegas. For the most part, you look at two women, one of them can get takedowns, one can't. You should be good. But Las Vegas doesn't care about your wrestling. Cong Wang striking is going to be light years ahead of Tracy's. But even Eduardo Mora had 8 minutes of control. And that makes this so hard to break down. I don't think this fight will be remotely close, but I'm not 100% sure which side it'll go. If Tracy Cortez is getting these takedowns, that's it. Cong Wang's going to spend the entire fight in her back, have no success whatsoever, easiest 30-27 on the card, and everybody in the comment section is going to be a genius. Or Cong Wang defends the first few takedowns, boxes up Tracy's face, she looks old, she looks used up, and everybody in the comment section is a genius. And there's a theme there because you're all geniuses, right? I've never seen somebody come back and be like, I was wrong. I see comments disappear. I see people talk about predictions they never made publicly. But I've never seen someone come back, hey, I was wrong on all these things. And now while I'm being playful with that, I am being serious with the fact that this could go one of two directions, but I do not think it's a close fight. I don't think it's an easy back and forth. I don't think it's a fight where they both have success. I think it is either tons of wrestling or getting her face bashed in, and I'm going to lean towards getting her face bashed in. It is Vegas. I am going to factor in the judges, and I think Cong Wang is improving at an incredible rate where Tracy Cortez is exactly who she has been for the last 5 years. Show me a fight where Tracy improved. Show me a fight where you're like, oh, her hands in this fight, 10 times better than the fight before it. Because I can show you Cong Wang fights in the last 2 years where, oh, in this fight, she was better than that one. In this one, she was better than that one. And she continues to make those improvements. I'm going to take the better striker here. I think Tracy's going to look like she's panic wrestling, and I don't think that's going to look really well for the judges. Then we have Kamaka III taking on Luke Riley. Kamaka is a busy striker. He's got good footwork, big leg kicks, nice pressure, solid takedowns, relatively solid chin. Not the greatest chin in the world, but he's pretty tough. He's not great at any one thing, but he's got some dog in him. He was on that 4-fight UFC run from 2020 to 2021. A couple exciting matchups, but they cut him. They kicked him to the regional scene. He bounced between Bellator, between PFL, and he did have a good amount of success, and now he's back. He's coming off that split decision win over Dakota Hope and his return to the UFC earlier this year where Dakota did fade, which is how Kai was able to take that fight. He has taken on Luke Riley. Luke Riley is a carbon copy of basically every English fighter. Fantastic athletic striker. He does everything possible to keep fights on the feet. Plenty of finishes. Does a good job doing damage in the clinch. Takedown defense is decent. If he is taken down, he does stay busy and he looks to work up. His combinations are impressive. He'll work your body. He'll work your head in the same exchange. Overall, a fun fighter. One of the better English fighters. He is coming out the decision win over Michael Aswell Jr., where people were disappointed he didn't knock out Michael, but we've seen how tough Michael can be. Listen, I'm going to be a little nervous here. I think Luke wins. And I'll say that with medium level to high level confidence, but I'm a little nervous. Because we have seen more than one highly touted, don't get all your panties in a bunch English people, cage warrior, English striking prospect come to the UFC and kind of get smacked around and fraud checked. We have seen that multiple times over. I mean, again, English people, I'm sorry, don't get all worked up. But we have seen the cage warrior fighters come to the UFC, and then you're going to be like, well, Conor McGregor, shut the fuck. One guy, we've seen the cage warrior fighters come to the UFC and just not have it. They're all really good fast strikers. And then once it turns into a gritty MMA fight, things get weird. I'm going to pick Luke. I think it's a favorable matchup for him. I think he showcases here. He's going to be cleaner. He's going to be faster, the better striker. I think he's going to manage range better. I think he dances his way to a decision. I do not think we get a finish here because of A, how tough Kai is, and B, Luke is going to be hanging out on the outside trying to avoid the leg kicks and just Kai's pressure. But this could get weird. And if it does, we can all collectively never, ever, ever, ever pick or bet on an English fighter again. I don't see it happening. We should be good. Luke Riley is the pick. Then we have Cody Garbrandt taking on Adrian Yanez. This is another really fun matchup. We have a former world champion versus a guy that may not have ever reached his full potential, but for some reason, the general public is all over him at more than 4-1 odds. Cody Garbrandt, notably, former bantamweight champion of the world. He's had some of the highest highs and the lowest of lows. Phenomenal boxer, fantastic footwork, very real power. And when he's on, he's unbelievable. Great footwork, clean striking. He's a threat with the wrestling, but when he's off, he's throwing punches wild. His chin is in the air, and he's absolutely getting slept. He is coming off that fake win. You're going to see a green dot on Tapology. He didn't win that fight over Long Zhao. He only won that fight because 2 points were taken away in the third round. That fight came down to the third round. He somehow won a 9-8 round that should have been a 10-9 for Zhao. He's taking on Adrian Yanez, a fun technical striker with high striking IQ, fast hands, real power, and outside of the Rob Font fight, a decent chin. He can be a slow starter, but when he picks up the pace and he hits his flow state, he's one of the cleaner, just straight boxers in the division. He's got 10 fights in the UFC, 5 fight of the night bonuses, 6 stoppage wins. He's got great takedown defense at 75% and 0 offensive takedowns so far in the UFC. He shines in technical exchanges and has very clean boxing. He's coming off what many feel was a robbery loss to Ricky Simone, where he was taken down twice, but he dominated the striking, and he basically had that dude knocked out as the bell rang. Cody Garbrandt had what many people feel was the single greatest performance when he beat Dominic Cruz to become the bantamweight champion. And it's impossible to talk about Cody Garbrandt without people glazing that fight. In fact, this week, my feed on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter is just the UFC being like, 10 years ago today, Cody Garbrandt had the single best performance we've ever seen. Every media outlet's going to talk about it, and they're going to try to pretend that it wasn't 10 years ago. 10 years since that performance. But we're at a point where we need to put that aside. Sure, for 25 minutes, one time 10 years ago, Cody Garbrandt looked like an absolute hero. And what happened after that is he looked like hero for moments and he got knocked out 2 times in a row. And then he's been struggling. Cody Garbrandt is not who he used to be. He's a shell of who he used to be. And since that fight, that performance, he is 4-7 in the last 10 years. 4-7. But he's still getting big matchups. We still talk about that performance. We still talk about him as the former bantamweight champion of the world. Yanez should win this fight. At this point in their careers, he's the better striker. He's faster. He's cleaner. He's got the better chin. And even if Cody does decide to wrestle, Yanez has very good takedown defense, and he should be able to scramble out of there, get the hands going. And again, Las Vegas doesn't care about your wrestling. Yanez is the pick. I doubt we get a finish. And I hate how wide these odds are getting, but the reality is the better striker should win a striking matchup. Then we have the UFC's biggest heavyweight signing of the last couple of years, Gable Steveson taking on Elisha Ellison. Gable Steveson, very good signing. A huge signing. People were talking about this guy only has 3 professional fights, and people were begging for the UFC to sign him before his first professional fight. And that's because he's an Olympic gold medalist. He's a multiple-time Division I national champion wrestler. He's one of the best American heavyweight wrestlers we have ever had. He's come into MMA, and he's knocking people out. You would assume that the wrestling background would have him diving at legs, but it doesn't. He moves forward, he throws huge, and even as he's throwing, he's shooting takedowns. He is big, he is fast, he's athletic, he's powerful, he's training with John Jones, and he seems to be doing everything imaginable to be as good as he can possibly be. He's taking on Elisha Ellison, a retired police officer who now does private security and then moonlights in his second job as a UFC fighter. He's an aggressive guy. He'll take the fight anywhere. He's got no problem getting after on the feet or grinding takedowns, maybe some submissions. He's fast. He hits hard. He can find finishes, but this is not his full-time job. And he was just knocked out by Brando Pericic. Gable wins. Very straightforward pick here. The odds are what they are for that reason. These odds are going to go all over the place. You're going to see it go up to like -3. He'll be the biggest favorite in the history of the sport. We will see that. And then they'll go down a little bit. You're probably, even if you did Gable Steveson first round TKO, you're going to get -1,000 odds on that. This is not a complicated fight to break down. A giant, athletic train of a human being is going to run through a part-time fighter. That is what is supposed to happen. Now, there are some fake geniuses out there pretending Gable's going to lose. Those people are idiots who are looking for attention. Those people are doing the 1 in a million so they can be like, I told you, man, I'm a genius, and try to live off that for the next 10 years. Gable's not losing this fight. Unless there's a banana peel and he slips on it like a cartoon and hits his head, he is not losing this fight. Gable Steveson wins this fight. He wins by finish. He wins it in the first round. That's it. That's simple. Anybody saying otherwise, delete your account, move on. You're just trying to be a contrarian. And then we have the featured prelim of the evening. We have a light heavyweight, Robert Whittaker, taking on Nikita Krylov. Robert Whittaker, notably a former welterweight. You may remember him as the middleweight champion of the world. He was a welterweight. Then he moved up to middleweight, became the champion, and now here he is at light heavy. Style-wise, he's fun. He's a diverse striker, good volume, good takedowns, constantly mixing things up, big dramatic movement patterns. His only losses since 2014 are to 3 different world champions and then RDR in his last fight. He has 12 takedowns in his 9 fights. And it really just locks in the fact that Robert Whittaker is one of the most well-rounded fighters the middleweight division has had. And now we'll see what he can do in the light heavyweight division. He's taking on Nikita Krylov, a well-rounded guy in his own right. He's got good wrestling, good striking, nice forward pressure. He mixes his striking and his grappling together well. He transitions between the two. He's got solid takedowns. He averages more than 2 per fight. He's got a wealth of experience. He's had some very high-level wins, but a subpar chin. He is coming out with that finish win over Modestas Bukauskas where he only had 3 seconds left on the clock. Now, I just said it 10 seconds ago, but I'm going to remind you that Robert Whittaker was a welterweight. He is making his light heavyweight debut. You don't need to be a genius to do that math. That is a shit ton of weight. And now I understood the transition between welterweight and middleweight, and that paid off for him. But we are 12 years removed from the middleweight transition. Robert Whittaker was a welterweight from 2009 to 2014. Then he moved up to middleweight. And if you want to see what he looked like as a welterweight, just go watch the Wonder Boy fight. He was smaller in that fight. He was a smaller fighter at 170 pounds. He moved up to middleweight. He was never the bigger fighter at middleweight. Not one time, but he did have success. But I would like you to show me a fight where Robert Whittaker didn't win because he was sucked out and he was dry and he didn't have the energy because he was cutting too much weight. You can't find it. It doesn't exist. So the move to light heavyweight to me makes no sense whatsoever. In fact, I'd argue he lost his last fight because he was too small. RDR bullied him. That giant front knee up the middle, throwing him against the cage. RDR bullied him. Now, Robert had success. He dropped RDR in that fight. But now RDR, who did break down because he cut too much weight, is moving up to light heavyweight, and so is Robert Whittaker. And this is a big, long, roundabout circle to say Robert Whittaker should not be going to light heavyweight. I don't understand the decision. It is weird to me. But this is a favorable matchup and he should win. He should be the better fighter. Now, Nikita's not small. He is 6'3". He will be the much larger fighter here, but he's not as good of a fighter. Robert Whittaker should be the better fighter here. But I just don't understand this move. When fighters move up in weight, I understand it if they're cutting too much, they don't have the energy they need, they're getting a little older, their bodies are breaking down. That is not the case here. Robert Whittaker is an average to potentially below average size middleweight. He's never sucked too dry. He's competed for 25 minutes multiple times over, but here he is. He says he doesn't want to cut the weight anymore, and that's his body, his choice. He'll win this fight. I don't know what's going to happen in the next one. If they ran the RDR rematch back right now, he'd lose. He would lose to a light heavyweight right now. The person who made him move up, he would lose to that person. I don't understand this move, but he's doing it. So we'll be rooting for him because everybody loves Robert Whittaker. Everybody also loves a couple bucks. And I'll send you $50 for free from me to you. Takes a couple days. The only thing you need to do to get the $50 is go to this URL. On that page, we have affiliate links. You use one of the affiliate links, you sign up, you make a deposit, and they're going to pay me a one-time commission. I'm going to slice that money, and I'm going to give you $50. It is a very easy system. They pay me commission, I give you $50 as a thank you, they get a new customer. And that whole little triangle works out a couple of days. People will say, hey, Ange, I just signed up. It takes a couple days. You use the link. It's got to flow through the system. They have to validate that your money actually went through and you're not some weird weasel. Then they pay me the commission. I validate you used our link. I send you $50. Everybody wins. Go to this URL, sign up, make a deposit, get yourself a couple of bucks. While we're poking around the website, check out every single freaking thing it has to offer. We just accidentally built the greatest offering this space has ever had. If you go to wewantpicks.com, you'll find a full suite of picks, bets, tools, and everything you could ever want or need heading into a fight week. We have a tool called the Data Analyzer. For those of you who are watching this video for research purposes, and you do your own data, you deep dive, you look at stats, and you care about that stuff, we have a tool that does it all for you. Why go digging for it? We did it for you. We put it together, and you can filter out data and find individual statistics for every fighter on every card. Not just this week, but it's built out for the future as well. Inside of the Data Analyzer, we have a tape index. For those of you who like to do your own tape study, watch the fights with your own eyes so you can remember what happened the last time Conor McGregor fought. We've got that lined up as well. We have a tool called the Fight Simulator. This simulates every fight 100,000 times. And through those 100,000 simulations, it's bringing in all sorts of data points, and it's spitting out the results. I personally use it to find significant strike lines so I can do the over-unders on Prize Picks and Underdog. Other people are using it to build fantasy lineups. Other people are using it to find other betting spots. Speaking of fantasy lineups, we have a DraftKings Optimizer. The DraftKings Optimizer also builds FanDuel lineups and now DraftKings Captain Mode lineups as well. We have a line movement tracker. For those of you who care about line movement and try to find value, we have a tool called the line movement tracker that gives you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. And there is conditional logic built in to highlight value. Green means the line is heading towards value. Red means it's heading away from value. So you wait, it's getting greener, bang, I'm going to place my bet right now before it starts to go the other way. Every bet, every pick, every tool, the artificial intelligence, the 5 human cappers, it's all one package. There is no upsell. There's no cross-sell. There's no bullshit. It's $10 for all of it instantly. And here's the 4 fight cards you're going to get if you sign up right now. You're going to get UFC 329. You're going to get UFC Oklahoma City. Again, I will be there in person. Come say hi to your boy. Then you get the Abu Dhabi card, and then you get the Serbia card. It's $10 for an entire month. WeWantPicks.com. And before this fight happens, you can get an entire lifetime worth of premium membership for $250. Just use promo code 250 in celebration of America's birthday. Let's jump in to the main card. We're going to open up the UFC 329 main card with a very exciting matchup between King Green and Terrence McKinney. This is a fight that I'm surprised hasn't happened before. 2 exciting guys in a division loaded with exciting matchups. I am genuinely surprised we haven't seen this before, but I'm looking forward to it. We got Bobby King Green, a busy striker. He's got that showboat Roy Jones Jr. style. Good volume, incredibly defensively sound, slick wrestling as a backup plan. He does have 12 knockouts under his belt. You don't typically associate him with a one-punch knockout guy, but he is finishing a couple of people. He is coming off that submission win over Jeremy Stephens, though, where he went back to his wrestling roots. He's taking on Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney is an absolute fireball. Incredibly talented, solid hands, good wrestling, solid BJJ. He has every single tool that you would want from a fighter, but he does gas and he can be finished. He is a feast or famine guy. He has 26 professional fights. He has never seen a third round, ever. He is coming off that sub 30-second knockout win over Kyle Nelson. This is notably a giant step up in competition for Terrence McKinney. It's not even, King Green is the toughest opponent Terrence has fought. Period. End of that story. But this is a really fun fight and a really important fight for both of their careers. I want to pick King Green here. He's got all the experience in the world. He's got plenty of cardio. He is typically a pretty durable guy. He's smart enough to know, hey, I just have to weather this early storm and then I'll be fine. The problem is, I don't know if he can weather that early storm. He's the most accomplished fighter Terrence McKinney has ever fought. The problem is, he's also one of the oldest. He is 39 years old, and Terrence is a menace early. If I could make 2 picks, I would. As you would in every Terrence McKinney fight. Under 3 minutes or he loses. That's the breakdown here. He's going to beat King Green in under 3 minutes or he will lose. Oddly enough, Terrence McKinney went on and on before his last fight, but I'm learning to slow down. I'm learning to extend fights. He beat that dude in 30 seconds. He did not slow down. He did not extend that fight. He will need to here. I don't think he's going to get Bobby out of there in the first 30 seconds. But I do think Terrence can win this fight. Almost no confidence in that whatsoever because of the respect I have for King Green. King's going to be the fan pick. I'm going to be rooting for him, but I got to go with Terrence McKinney. I think Terrence McKinney gets it done. I think he's too dangerous early, and he has too many tools. Terrence McKinney is the pick. Then we have a very interesting matchup between Brandon Royval and Loner Kavanaugh. This is an interesting matchup because Brandon Royval is always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Couple of title shots, couple of big moments, never quite got there. But he is one of the better guys in this division and has been for a very long time. He's very exciting to watch. He has that all-time significant strike record along with current world champion Joshua Van. He's a good striker. He's fast. He's powerful. He's diverse. The grappling's aggressive. He's got some random submissions and a willingness to chase them. He throws crazy, brings a ton of pressure. Typically very durable, but he was just knocked out by Manel Kape. Taking on Loney. It's impossible for me to say Loney and not Loner. We're going to alternate between the two. Kavanaugh. A fast-paced striker as well. He's got incredible movement, good speed. Any descriptions I use about his speed will not be accurate enough. He is insanely fast, and I'd argue one of the top 5 fastest guys in this division. He's got some raw power, so the combination of speed and power has been working well for him. He can grapple as well. A couple of random takedowns. He can do some real damage on top. He is coming off that short notice upset win over Brandon Moreno where he defended 8 takedowns and he landed the cleaner strikes. The narrative going into that fight, and frankly, the narrative going into this fight as well, is I don't know about Loney over 25 minutes. He gassed in the Charles Johnson fight. His lone loss, he slowed down, he gassed, he got caught with a big hook. But even that narrative is a bit of a stretch because we just saw him fight for 25 full minutes and there was grappling. He defended the takedowns, let his hands go, and he was the better fighter basically the entire time. If you want to pretend that Brandon Royval is chinny, if you want to pretend that Loner is chinny, then you can run with whatever narrative you want. Brandon was just knocked out. We've seen Loner knocked out before. I'm going to ignore both of those things. I don't think either one of them are chinny. I think Brandon got caught by an insanely powerful Manel Cobb, and I think Loney got caught with his hands down, backing up. I think we get two guys that are going to get after it. I think Brandon Royval is not nearly as technical. I don't think Brandon Royval is going to be able to swarm Loney because I think Loney's footwork is better, his speed is better, and the speed is going to be the difference here. Loney Kavanaugh is the pick, and this is a perfect fight to find out how good he actually is, because while Brandon Moreno is awkward, Brandon Moreno isn't just the sheer forward volume that Brandon Royval is, and I'm very curious to see how Loney Kavanaugh does with that insane forward pressure. Loney Kavanaugh is the pick. And then we have a rematch. The first of two rematches on this card. We got Corey Sandhagen taking on Mario Batista. This first fight happened 7 years ago. And that was also Mario Batista's UFC debut. And it was also short notice. They're going to say, oh, he was in fight camp. It was a short notice fight. He stepped up. And I got to be clear. Typically, when I break down rematches, I don't care what happened in the first fight, especially if it's a rematch from that long ago. If we're breaking down Cyril Gane and Tom Aspinall again, it's like, all right, we saw a round that was just 8 months ago. We can look at that and make some decisions. This was 7 years ago. If I looked at what happened in that first fight and I used it as a basis for what's going to happen here, that means I'm assuming neither one of these fighters have evolved in the last 7 years, and that's a crazy thing to do. But if you want to go watch that first fight, go for it. Go to WeWantPicks.com. Go to the data analyzer. Inside of the data analyzer is the tape index. That's where you have every fighter on the card, their full fight history, and click the little red play button. Video pops up, and you're off to the races. Let's break down this fight. We got Corey Sandhagen, an active striker. He's landing about 5 significant strikes per minute. He does have some deceiving power because of how awkward he is, and he has some solid technique. He's fluid, he's fast, he's good with combinations, throws in nice variety. He'll throw punches, kicks, elbows, knees, and he's going to mix up where they land, whether he's going to the head, the legs, or the body. He can mix up some athletic grappling as well, but he is awkward. He has an in and out style where he's mixing up the takedowns and trying to strike at range at the exact same time. He's a hard night out for almost anybody, and he is coming off that title shot loss to Merab Dvalishvili, where he was taken down, wait for it, 20 times. 20 times. That must have been a record for most amount of time somebody was taking down a fight. Taking on Mario Batista, a high-volume striker with solid wrestling, good scrambling. He sets a nice pace. He's always plotting forward. He's very light in his feet, and he has an impressive 5-4 striking differential. He averages about 2 takedowns per fight, and he has been steadily evolving the last few years. He is coming off the submission win over Vinicius Oliveira. Most people are picking Corey Sandhagen here, and I get it. This guy has been at the top of this division for a very long time. And frankly, I'd rather see Corey versus Sean O'Malley than Corey versus Mario. But here we are. Corey's a good fighter. He won the first matchup here. And basically, he was kind of getting touched a little bit. He got taken down, worked his way into a submission. But that was 7 years ago. These are not the same fighters. And if I'm looking at both of their evolution since then, I think Mario has improved more. I think Mario's the cleaner boxer at this point in their careers, certainly the better overall wrestler. Scrambling, jiu-jitsu. I love Mario's scrambles. Go watch that Umar fight, but Corey just has better raw jiu-jitsu. Corey's also very unorthodox and a bit awkward, which could give Mario some trouble here. I don't care what happened in the first fight. As I mentioned, I think Mario wins this fight. These odds have been just chilling here, plus 125. Seems like a lot of people are trying to figure out what's going to happen here. I'm on the Mario side. I think he's the better striker. I think he's the better wrestler. And if we end up in some scrambles, I think Mario hopefully can protect his neck this time. So Mario Batista is the pick, and I threw a quarter of a unit on him at plus 125. And then we have the co-main event of the evening. This is the second time I'm breaking down this card. I broke down the first one about a week and a half ago. And the two big narratives that came out of that was Paddy's going to win this fight and Conor's going to win this fight. That was the overwhelming majority feedback from the community. Paddy is going to win this fight. And we were getting voicemails. If you didn't know, we have a toll-free number. 1-866-WE-WANT-PICKS. And people leave us messages. We got a message, a long message, detailing, very well-spoken message, detailing how Paddy is going to win, citing his fight IQ. And Paddy's going to get this done, and you're wrong. So let's talk about it. We got Benoit Saint Denis taking on Paddy the Baddy. Benoit Saint Denis, strong wrestler. He's got well-timed shots, ton of pressure on top. He has 12 fights in the UFC with 26 takedowns, and that is impressive considering 11 of those fights ended in under 10 minutes. When BSD gets a fight to the ground, there's good pressure. He works for submissions. His power on the feet as well makes him dangerous pretty much everywhere. He is hittable. Like, you can beat this guy's face in, but you're not really going to break him. He's all gas. He's not slowing down. He has no quit. He is coming off the brutalizing over a Dan Hooker. He's taking on Paddy to body. A well-rounded guy. Good amount of experience. He can be hittable because he keeps that chin just square up in the air. His striking offense is okay. He's got some good volume. He's a smooth grappler. He flows well on the ground. He is famous for getting fat as hell and then losing all the weight, but he stopped doing that. And we saw the results of not doing that in his fight with Justin Gaethje, where he had a ton of success. He had way more success than Ilia Topuria did. And that fight was an absolute war, and it reminded us that he don't get knocked out. This, in my opinion, is the single hardest fight to pick on the card. And I keep waffling back and forth. And I have switched my pick. I tell myself, Paddy sucks. There's no way Paddy is going to beat somebody as tough as BSD. Then I'm reminded that he almost beat Justin. There was multiple times in that fight where he almost finished Justin. But Justin is who he is. He gamed through it, didn't quite show. Paddy was also getting beat up, so we ended up with the fight that we got. My concern here is that on the feet, BSD is just going to walk down Paddy, crack that chin that is square in the air. If Paddy gets the fight to the ground, I think he dominates on top. But if BSD gets to the fight to the ground, I think he dominates on top. So the first time I broke this down, I talked about how whoever gets the first takedown will win this fight, and I think BSD will get the first takedown. You can see that in the statistics because whoever's on their back is going to get beaten up. And then Twitter just started bombarding my feed with Benoit Saint Denis staph infection bullshit on his forehead, on his foot, everywhere. And notably, if you go back to the Dustin Poirier fight, BSD had a staph infection. And in the first round, he looked like a superhero. In the second round, slept. And he said, I had a staph infection. Can't really do the things you're supposed to do with a staph infection because of the antibiotics. And the only reason I'm going down this rabbit hole is because Paddy Pimblett is all-time tough. He just took a beating from one of the toughest people this sport has ever seen, and he was still there, standing, and could have almost finished that fight a couple of times over. This is a weird matchup because I genuinely think that the stand-up is neutral. Paddy gets hit like a motherfucker. Benoit Saint Denis just moves forward and throws. Benoit wrestles more. If there wasn't all of this bullshit online about a staph infection, I'm picking BSD. I'm sticking with BSD because I think he gets a takedown early and Paddy's just on his back. Paddy was taken down 4 times by Michael Chandler. The shitty, should retire, see at the top, Michael Chandler. He took down Paddy 4 times. My only concern is BSD is going to get the takedowns, hang out on top, and beat the piss out of him. That's my concern. And that's a very possible outcome. But if there is truth to the staph, and he does slow down like he did against Dustin Poirier, and Paddy is as tough, let's say Justin did not break Paddy, he is as tough as he was in his last fight, then Paddy has to be the pick. So let's flip picks. Let's go Paddy. I'm not betting on this. My original pick was BSD. Then I'm getting all this like, this dude must be the dirtiest motherfucker in the world. He's had staph infection every week. That's just hitting my feet like crazy. It is seeping into my brain. So again, to be as clear as humanly possible, Paddy Pimblett is the pick only because of the Benoit Saint Denis staph rumors. If they are both healthy and they swore to a judge, I'm healthy, then BSD is the pick because of the wrestling. You don't need to bet every fight, guys. This will be a fun one. I'm very excited. Frankly, I hope Paddy wins because then we'll get Paddy versus Ilia. And I would love to see that matchup given their history.
Dustin Poirier defeats Conor McGregor via TKO doctor stoppage
first round doctor
after the
stoppage.
first round.
I think Conor put up almost a rabid level fight.
Conor McGregor had a phenomenal game plan.
Chewing up the legs of Dustin Poirier, landing.
Dustin Poirier was winning that fight.
He mauled him and he was beating him, okay?
Get him on the ground. Look at Conor was bleeding.
I don't know. Like, there's a lot of questions. What would happen if Conor didn't get hurt?
Conor could have had a very strong second round.
Won a fight against Conor McGregor by McGregor stepping funny on his leg and it's snapping in half.
And it snapped. I'm talking about tibia and fibula.
Yeah.
Snapped.
Oh, man, it looked like just Gumby. Just one of them freak accidents.
So Conor's facing a long rehab.
Is Conor McGregor done?
I think, yes.
We'll probably never see Conor McGregor fight in the cage again. 5 years ago, I sat in front of a camera exactly like this one saying that Conor McGregor would never fight again. And you just saw those claims in the McGregor Forever documentary that was featured on Netflix. And Netflix used my audio multiple times throughout that documentary. Me saying Conor McGregor will never fight again. And they used that audio to start the arc of the Conor McGregor comeback story. But that arc was supposed to happen when he was going to fight Michael Chandler 2 years ago. And for a wild chunk of time, I was correct. And it seemed clear that the sport's biggest star would never return. But here I am, eating my words, about to tell you that I was wrong. Conor McGregor will fight again. And then I'm also going to tell you he has no chance to win this fight. If you skip the intro to this entire video, I recommend you go back because the hate edit that we put together essentially tells the story of a troubled man who has been arrested more times than he has won fights in the last 10 years. And I only mention this because if anybody is under the delusion that a 38-year-old party boy who hasn't fought in 5 years and is going to come back and shock the world, you are wrong and you have been fooled. Conor McGregor coming back is huge for the sport. It is huge for the fans, the business, the content creators, but I cannot let the excitement cloud the reality. There is no amount of clips of Conor washing his face in a sink, yelling in the mirror that is going to convince me that he is back in his prime. Conor is old, he's slow, he's rusty, he does not even have a puncher's chance. Yes, this is a rematch and he won the first fight. That was 13 years ago and he needed to wrestle. We're all forgetting how he won the first fight. He wrestled. He had 4 takedowns, 7 minutes of control time. That is not the Conor we have today. At this point in their lives, Max is better everywhere. The better striker, the better grappler. He's got better cardio, better fight IQ, better everything. Max wins this fight. He probably finishes Conor. Conor didn't have cardio. In his prime, he didn't have cardio. But now, 13 years removed from his prime, 5 years removed from his last fight, all of a sudden, that guy has cardio? A rehab stint, 3 arrests later, that guy has cardio? Conor McGregor is not winning this fight. I'm glad he's back as a fan. I'm glad he's back as a content creator. I am glad he's back for the sport of MMA. But he will lose this fight. Hopefully, he then fights Michael Chandler, and then we can have an actual conversation. Guys, that's the breakdown. Genuinely, thank you for being here. And if this is the first video you've ever watched, well, click like and subscribe. Costs you nothing, wildly supportive, and I would definitely appreciate to see an uptick in the subscriber numbers. After that, come visit us in Oklahoma City. Now, that's not a reality for a lot of you, but if you will be at UFC OKC, so will I. So will Jacob, so will Casey, so will my brother-in-law. We will be there, the 4 of us, hanging out, having drinks, meeting the people, doing the thing. So come say hi. We will be there. Look for it. DM us, find us, say hi. I absolutely love meeting every single one of it, genuinely. Because sometimes you get caught up in the comment section. And if you're coming off a bad week looking at the comment section, whoo, is that a rough ride? Then I meet you in real life, and you guys are absolutely spectacular. And when you see me at UFC Oklahoma City, I will be vlogging because we vlog the events that we go to. And part of the vlogs, we open up packages. We read the mail. We do the thing. So if you want to send something for the vlog, send it to We Want Pics, P.O. Box 406 in Prosper, Texas, 75078. Of course, you got to bang around the website a little bit because we have everything you could ever want or need. Everything. There is not another service on this planet that offers what we offer anywhere near this price point. Each individual tool that we have on the website is worth more than $10. And we package it up for $10. One single package. There's no upsell. You don't pay $10, then get to the site, and it's like, oh, you actually only unlocked our base. We have a gold. No, it's $10 for all of it. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Here's the 4 fight cards. Your $10 is going to get you. the UFC 329 card, the UFC Oklahoma City card, the Abu Dhabi card, and the Serbia card. Every pick, every bet, every tool. Guys, I'm jazzed up. I'm excited. It's finally starting to feel like a giant fight week. The White House card felt like a giant fight week, but it being on a Sunday really screwed everything up. But here we are, normal schedule, monster event, return of the biggest star we have ever seen. I'm here for it. Thank you for being here, and good luck this weekend.